Okay, giving it a minute. I don't know why that happened. But we're gonna just give a minute before people start showing up. Yeah, if you're watching this on the VOD, the reason this is going on is that OBS will not let you just sort of reboot the camera that you have attached as your video input while continuing your stream. The only way that, as far as I can tell, and I have looked this up, that you can do this is to restart OBS. So you have to like restart your stream if your camera decides to turn itself off and on again, as mine just did. So, but we are watching Steven, one of the like runner-up in the world's most divorced man competition, Crowder, explain why Joe Rogan is wrong about ICE, and the example that he and his like factotum over there, whoever the hell that guy is, came up with to talk about is nonsense. And it's like, guys, are you just like, see no Epstein files, hear no Epstein files kinds of guys? Or they probably are. Who knows, maybe they're in them.
Now that people see what that looks like, they feel bad about it. And so I'm going to walk you through it and then ask, well, what better way would there be to do it?
Well, the better way would be not to do it. There, thank you. Hope that helps.
Hey, right now, let me just set the stage. This is...
I mean, what I was beginning to say when my camera took a shit was that these polls that claimed to show that there was this majority for like Trump and his anti-immigrant shit all massively oversampled Trump supporters. Like, I mean, for every Trump supporter that there is in the general public, they sampled 3 in this sample. So, like, it was practically just a sample of Trump supporters.
This is where we are. If you're here illegally, okay, you can self-deport on the CBP One app. Flights will be paid for.
I mean, why should you have to, though?
You get $1,000 cash. I believe they still have $1,000 cash.
Yeah, probably not. But, I mean, again, why? Who gives a fuck? Why do I give a shit whether somebody has legal status? It does nothing to me.
And you can go through the right way. You can get back in the queue.
Get back in the queue? What, like your people did, Steve? Like ours did? Back when there was no queue?
That's available to you right now.
No, it isn't. Yeah, the queue being, first of all, let's just remember that visa processing for like 75 countries has been indefinitely suspended. But leaving that aside, the queue that he's talking about it is to get a green card. And you can be on that queue for like 30 years without even having your application looked at.
If you don't, well, then you will be found.
No, you
will
won't.
be deported.
I mean, you may be found, but they don't have that many people. Considering the number of people they're trying to go after, they don't have anywhere near enough people. And they're completely dependent on snitches. And one of the problems that keeps on coming up, problems for them, I should be clear, is that nobody is willing to provide them with information.
If that is not acceptable, please tell me the alternative.
I mean, the alternative is just don't do that.
Yeah, is there a dollar amount that would appease you? That would.
I mean, why? I mean, maybe just not doing that.
Quench your thirst.
Yeah. What
is there a dollar? Is it a
like this motherfucker? They're gonna talk about like these people are greedy or something like that. When this motherfucker is having millions and millions thrown at him to just be racist on the internet.
$1,000 self-deport, is that okay?
Right. Assuming that you understand we need to deport people here illegally. And
Wait, why do we need to? I mean, I take it that you feel that you need to because you're a piece of shit. But we don't need to. There's literally nothing bad that will happen if we don't do it.
the problem. If not, well, that's fine. Then you must be a leftist. But if you believe that illegal aliens need to be out of this country, which most of you did.
I mean, and what do you mean most? Like, see, he is like, okay, here's what he's doing. Oh, this is cute. He believed the misleading polls that oversampled Trump supporters on this issue, and now he's pissed off because the actual people are not accurately represented by those samples.
How do you do it outside of self-deport? Here's a ticket, here's cash.
I mean, just don't do it.
Or, we're going to do it for you. You can compare it to anything.
I mean, okay, let's compare it to not doing that. You're going to explain... I've never actually heard one of these people actually explain what terrible thing happens if they don't get to do ethnic cleansing.
Hey, impeding ICE officers, committing felonies.
I mean, based?
Well, if not, ma'am, get out of the vehicle. Okay, ma'am, we are going to remove you from the vehicle.
Well, like, the question is, are they allowed to remove somebody from the vehicle? And why should they be?
Oh, you hit an officer?
Like, does he think so? Is there somebody off who isn't mic'd?
Consequences. If not that, then what?
I mean, again, just not doing any of that. Just don't.
Because the only alternative I've come up with is lawlessness.
I mean, that seems to be actually what you're advocating, judging from what you seem to think is good.
Yeah. And I get that enforcing the law is sometimes hard to watch.
Well, that often indicates that there's something wrong with the law.
That doesn't mean that it is any less necessary. So during his podcast...
Well, I mean, actually, it often does mean that it wasn't necessary at all.
Joe Rogan specifically addressed ICE, and I will say they cut out some context, but I don't think the context makes his statement something that I agree with regardless. But still, it's very clear what the left was doing. Joe Rogan compared ICE to the Gestapo.
Did he mean what I'm trying to figure out is, did he think that was a bad thing? Because you do have to ask.
And here is CNN, the same people who tried to destroy him during COVID, gleefully playing his clip.
We are still during COVID.
I agree with him now.
Here is how podcaster Joe Rogan described it.
You don't want militarized people in the streets just roaming around, snatching people up, many of which turn out to actually be U.S. citizens that just don't have their papers on them. Are we really going to be the Gestapo?
Well, like, I mean, again, Joe, that's who you decided to align yourself with. I mean, it's like, it's one thing when Crowder is crying about the fact that the polls that he looked at that said that most people agreed with him because they almost entirely asked Trump supporters that those polls are wrong, and he's like feels betrayed by the people, not by the pollsters who lied to him and misrepresented the actual state of public opinion. But I can understand on a certain level being pissed off at Joe Rogan, because what the fuck did Joe Rogan think he was supporting exactly all this time? What did he think? I mean, because he isn't just some random dude who, you know, cast a vote for Trump or something like that. I mean, fuck those dudes too, actually. But like, he's been one of the key sources of propaganda for the far right in this country. So what the fuck? He's been talking to these people. They've been saying what they want to do. Now they're doing it, and now suddenly he is pissed off. Now suddenly he's appalled. Like, what did you think it was going to look like? And do you realize then that the people you've been supporting are maybe not good people then?
Your papers? Is that what we've come to?
That has also become a big part of this so-called enforcement.
Yeah, and I'm going to play the long clip, but no, that's not true, by the way. That is incorrect from Joe Rogan.
I mean, what part is? Because, I mean, what he said is all correct. I mean, the only thing you can really quibble with is that, historically speaking, the Gestapo were a plainclothes force. They were not wearing military uniforms. They actually walked around in just regular suits, slouch hats, and trench coats. Kind of like feds.
As far as he was asking a question, then it was characterized by CNN. We talked about this yesterday. Report from ProPublica, 170 U.S. citizens total arrested by ICE.
Yeah, I mean, if we just take... I mean, we're talking about the law, right? I mean, Steven Crowder was just talking about how important it is to enforce the law. The law does not actually allow any U.S. citizens to be picked up by ICE. Because the U.S. Law says that U.S. citizens are not within the jurisdiction of an agency whose entire existence is centered around enforcing immigration laws, which U.S. citizens are not subject to. So, I mean, just...
72% were held for interfering with ICE, as you have seen on video.
Yeah, except interfering with who gives a shit? First of all, they don't have jurisdiction. They don't... If somebody is defending their community, they still don't have jurisdiction.
Remaining 28% were questioned and released. It is not a problem.
They were questioned and released. Yeah, it is a problem, actually, that they were picked up in the first place.
It's not a thing. There's no comparison.
Yeah, you just literally pointed out it is a thing.
To the Gestapo, but for the sake of transparency, here's more context to Joe Rogan's statements.
I see both perspectives. I see the perspective of the people that say, hey, there was an illegal program moving people in here to get votes.
I mean, which is a lie. I mean, so he can see the perspective of the people who, lied about that.
Moving people in here to get congressional seats, and we've got to change that. We've got to take those people that got in and send them back to where they came from.
Except that didn't happen. I mean, this literally is just a thing that they made up.
Or do something, because if we don't, they're going to keep doing it if they get in office again in 2028.
Okay, so, I mean, Joe, Mr. Rogaine, I just can't help think, maybe if you don't like what these people who you've been doing propaganda for, you don't like what they're doing, maybe you should look into what they're saying and see if maybe it's bullshit, too. Because it is bullshit, if you care about that. But, of course, he does not care about it.
It's going to accelerate. And you're going to have to take away some of the damage that's been done to a true democratic system. Because you've kind of hijacked it. And they kind of have.
I mean, no.
And then I can also see the point of view of the people that say, yeah, but you don't want militarized people in the streets just roaming around, snatching people up, many of which turn out to actually be U.S. citizens. They just don't have their papers on them.
Well,
Are we really going to be the Gestapo? Where's your papers? Is that what we've come to?
Yes.
So it's
and you've brought us there, Joe. You've played a major role. He's one of two Joes who have played a huge role in getting us to where we are right now.
I think people want to admit. People want to look at this as a black and white issue.
I mean, but it's not a black and white issue because, there's the stuff that we made up in order to justify it. And if you accept what we made up in order to justify it as fact, then clearly it seems justified. Oh, good to see that people have found their way to the news stream after the last time with the taking of the shit by the camera. I really wish that OBS would patch this, figure out a way to set it up so that you could just reset the camera without resetting the stream. But that's where we are.
If you're a compassionate person or if you're a pragmatic person, and I don't think that's true. I think it's both.
Actually, that's exactly what it is. The only part where I diverge with Joe Rogan versus I don't think that's true. I think that is exactly true. And I think it's reflected. We'll bring up the Harvard-Harris poll first. When you look at the Harvard-Harris poll that was in October 2020.
Yeah, that's the one that they massively over... Oh, wait a second here. Okay, so Republicans Okay, let's see what this actually say. Yeah, okay, this is not that one. Overwhelmingly, people... Yeah, I know. He's so surprised. Like, it's his fucking fault. This is, I mean, he wears this. Yeah, overwhelmingly people don't like this. Okay, yeah, this is that poll. I was thinking he was going to bring up one of the ones from shortly after Trump took office, where they basically polled Trump supporters, and it turned out Trump supporters liked it.
Not long ago, deport criminals, 78% approve.
Yes, and this is the one that was actually practically a poll of Trump supporters. Like, they actually had, like, 3 Trump supporters polled for every non-Trump supporter, which is the exact opposite of their representation in the population, where you have 3 people who didn't vote for him for every one who did.
Deport all illegal aliens, 56% approve. So a majority approve deporting all
a majority of Trump supporters.
Illegal aliens. A super majority approve deporting criminals.
Again, I mean,
But then you contrast that with the enforcement methods. And this is from Quinnipiac. 57% disapprove.
Yeah, and even more than that, say ICE should be abolished altogether.
Of ICE.
Oh, here's something interesting that does not get mentioned a lot. This is largely unchanged since Quinnipiac University's July 16, 2025 poll. In other words, this isn't actually new. People hated ICE already. Yeah, in today's poll, Republicans overwhelmingly approve, while everybody else, which is to say most people, disapprove.
Methods, with only 40% approving. So, the only disconnect that we see here is you think we need to get rid of all illegal aliens. Okay.
Now, who's you?
How many hands? Well, most of you. Okay, how many do you think that we absolutely need to get rid of all criminals? Oh, almost all of you. Great. Okay, so.
Yeah, but it was...
Here's what we're going to do. They can self-deport on an app, get $1,000, get a flight. That's the part that's never mentioned.
I mean, because it doesn't make it any better.
Or, obviously, we're going to have to send people in to deport them, right? Because they don't want to be deported. But you said we need to deport them all, right?
Yeah, but that was just a minority of suckholes.
Then you don't like what that looks like.
Yeah, sometimes that happens, though. I mean, this is not a case where a majority ever actually said that this was a good idea. That was very, very sneaky sampling that did that. But sometimes, yeah, sometimes you are told, you get convinced that something is a good idea by unscrupulous actors like Steve Crowder, Joe Rogan. And then it comes time to actually do the thing they've been saying they want to do, and then you actually get a look at it and you realize it's fucking awful. And that is a thing that sometimes happens. Sometimes people only actually think something is a good idea in the abstract until they actually get a close-up look at what it looks like, because actually it's awful and they were being fucking lied to.
Yeah. So this is incumbent upon the people who say we need to deport
Well, yeah, which isn't most people.
criminals and illegal aliens. It is incumbent upon you. How do you do it?
I mean, fuck those people, first of all.
Because there are 2 ways right now. Self-deport, or we deport for you. I don't know of an option number 3 that would work.
I mean, I've got an option number 3 that would work. I've been saying it all this time. Just don't do it.
So I do think there are people who are pragmatic. Of course, none of us like seeing people who aren't violent criminals being deported if they're seeking a better life.
Really? Then none of us like that? Then why are you doing this?
But that's why I'm a conservative. It has to be done.
Why? Why does it have to be done?
You can't go through your entire life thinking that it's a Disney movie where the dead...
I mean, technically Andor is a Disney movie.
dad quits his job so he can spend more time with his family. They don't show you the sequel where he's out on the street, where everyone is nice to everybody and everyone gets what they want. That's not what happens. You break the law. Most people know that you have no right to do that.
No, yeah, but the law sucks. The law is bullshit. Fuck the law.
Most people support the idea of you being deported.
Until they, yeah, the abstract idea, maybe. I mean, even if we just credit that poll, and we shouldn't, because it massively sampled a minority of the population to the point where it was the majority of their sample. And, yeah. But sometimes somebody convinces you something that was a great idea in the abstract, and then you actually do it. It's like...
How do we do it? Genuinely.
Don't.
Comment below, because I don't think that anyone else has an answer.
DON''T. Full stop.
And all of this, by the way, was further reflected. People who don't have the stomach for it, who are not taking a pragmatic approach.
I mean, this reminds me... I mean, the more he talks... this reminds me a little bit of Himmler's secret speech in Poznan, as it then was, where he was talking about why they have to actually kind of keep it quiet what they're doing to because most people wouldn't understand it. And yeah,
being upset, then watch CNN.
A CNN poll shows that Americans surveyed are critical of the conduct of
Willard.
ICE's agents in last week's shooting of Renee Good. 56%.
like you don't actually get to laugh at anyone, Steven Crowder.
Of respondents called the force used in the shooting an inappropriate use of force.
That is such a weird way to put it. Like, the force used in the shooting. Like, is there a way to do a shooting that uses less force? Yeah, exactly. The River Rune's got it. Crowder always supports the law until the law says his abused wife is allowed to file for a divorce. Yeah, then suddenly the law doesn't... I mean, that's a good example right there. We were just talking about how people might say something is a good idea in the abstract. Crowder thinks following the law is a good idea in the abstract, and then the law means that his wife gets to leave him because he's a suckhole, and suddenly he doesn't like the law anymore, and he doesn't want to follow the law anymore.
26% believe it was appropriate.
Watch this next one.
18% say they haven't heard enough to say. The poll
What the fuck do you need to know at this point? Everybody's fucking seen it.
51% of respondents said ICE actions are making cities less safe.
Well, okay, but how many of these people are in a city where these actions are taking place? Because that is the survey I would like to see, because people outside of the cities that have been under attack by these assholes, which is actually only a small number of cities, because there aren't that many of them. They can't just keep on running them back and forth across the country. They're gonna go fucking ragged. And most people don't actually know anything about it, because it doesn't get reported for the most part. But even so, 51% say it's making cities less safe, which is like a nod to reality.
31% said ICE is making cities safer. 18% said those actions didn't have much of an effect either way. Clearly 18% is not really following the news.
Okay, so here's how I can prove to you that it's feelings-based versus results-based.
Okay.
A very small but majority of people think that ICE is making cities less safe.
Well, yes, because with the shooting and the torture and the grabbing people off the street and the fact that if these assholes, the simple fact that these assholes are running around like this with no ID in unmarked vehicles with fake plates, just grabbing people off the street without ever showing that they have any kind of official standing, this mere fact that they're doing that means that any asshole can do that. And in fact, other assholes who do not, who aren't eligible to be in a federal credit union, are doing that already. There have been cases, as far as I know, not many, but like assholes have actually worked out that this is a viable model for them that has been created by the federal government for their benefit.
We have just seen the single largest drop in murder. In 1 year.
That's not true.
Ever. The
Nope.
single biggest 1 year drop in a murder rate ever.
Like, even if that were true, like, what does that have to do with this? We're talking about
In this country. And that's after the COVID bump, right? It went up, went down, stabilized, and we've seen the biggest drop in the murder rate that you have seen in your lifetime.
oh, wait, I thought it was ever. Now it's your lifetime?
Overdoses, particularly fentanyl, they are now at their lowest since Trump's first term.
Well, yeah, because people are mostly exporting the fentanyl now. For a while, it seemed very much like... I mean, I heard this from people who are, like, addiction support people, counselors and stuff like that, that they suspected that external actors were mixing this fentanyl into people's shit specifically to kill them, because otherwise it didn't really make a whole lot of sense where it was showing up. It was showing up in things that were like it was showing up in like what was supposed to be coke. And if you're doing coke, you're not really trying to do fentanyl.
We have seen the single biggest drop in annual overdoses.
I mean, he's probably making that up too, and it has nothing to do with any of this, because the people who are responsible for most of the murders are just U.S. citizens. The people who are responsible for manufacturing the fentanyl that gets used in the illegal fentanyl that gets used in this country and exported to Latin America are also U.S. citizens. So, like, ICE has nothing to do with that.
So you can feel like your cities are less safe. They are safer.
But they're not. They're literally not.
What makes you feel like they're less safe is exactly what you are watching. It's making you more safe.
What you're watching, the reason you feel like it's less safe is you see all this violence going on in the streets and these paramilitary death squads running around beating and torturing and shooting people and being a complete law unto themselves, and the cops helping them out, because, I mean, that's the only people the cops will ever help out, really, other than Nazis, like private sector ones. And yeah, so if you look at what's going on the streets, it's easy to think that it's not safe. But I mean, if you just pay attention to random statistics that Steven Crowder made up and have nothing to do with this, then you could think that it's safer.
This is exactly what Joe Rogan said he disagreed with. It is people who know that what is necessary must be done. People who agree that it should be, but don't like what they see.
Yeah, but they don't, yeah. People who thought in the abstract it was good, and then found out in reality that it's horrible. Yeah, that sometimes happens, and decent people respond to that and say, oh, that sucks, I'm against that now.
Americans, where is your individual constitution?
Depends which one. I have the constitutions of quite a few places. Someplace I've got the PRC constitution. I'm looking at my commentary on the German constitution there. Japanese constitution's lying around here someplace. I've got the Soviet constitution around here, the Russian one, the current one. I got lots of individual constitutions. But I mean, I don't know what the question has to do with this.
Stomach for this. Then how do you talk about taking your country back? How do you talk about make America great again?
He's like pleading that he is worried about his viewers. That is kind of beautiful.
So let's do a little bit of then and now. Let's go to now. And this is how you know it's all emotions based.
I mean, it's also kind of getting shot at based.
CNN right now freaking out over ICE.
There's over 2,000 of them. And they've been attacking and terrorizing.
It's making it so hard for us to burn it down.
You're seeing this armed militia.
So the reason it's feelings based is because it's based on you knowing that this is going on.
Essentially acting as though Americans
federal
have
agency.
no right.
Yeah.
Ongoing ICE enforcement
Really the
operations
opposite
are
of
really
bullshit.
just fueling tensions constantly across the Minneapolis community.
Terrorizing communities. They are ripping
Oh, shut the fuck up, Jacob Frey. Nobody fucking believes you.
families apart. And they are
And the
creating
pedophile
danger,
fathers.
as we saw, where they claim to be creating safety.
People legitimately panicked about their safety when they see ICE walking down the street.
Yeah, wow. They're like, I mean, I'm not a fan of CNN by any stretch of the imagination, but that's literally just describing what's going on.
And I will tell you, ICE has made cities more safe. Donald Trump's approach has made cities more safe.
Based on what? Other than trust me, bro.
The people tearing the cities apart are the people who literally tore the cities apart.
But that's the guys that you're defending.
The tune of billions of dollars and thousands of casualties.
Thousands of casualties? What thousands of casualties? What the fuck is he talking about? Well, what chat, help me out here. Did I miss like a massacre with thousands of casualties here in the US that Steven Crowder would not be happy about?
Of fellow civilians and even local police officers.
I
Always
mean-
check that cheat sheet on Summer of Love. We have it there. Billions. Thousands of casualties. That means
What the fuck are you talking about?
both deaths and serious injury.
Oh, okay, now it's deaths and serious injuries. But when? What is this supposed... Did he say the Summer of Love? Like Woodstock? Is that what we're fucking talking about now? Did Woodstock have thousands of what the hell is this? I mean... This has just gone... just totally incoherent at this point.
And right now, your city is most likely safer.
His voice is trembling. His voice is trembling because he knows a lot of his viewers listen to Joe Rogan. And Joe Rogan is having qualms, even as he tries to back up the lies that have been told in order to convince these people that this is a good idea. His voice is actually trembling a little bit. Listen to that.
Injury. And right now, your
Did you hear that? That was a fucking tremolo.
city
Right now.
is most likely safer than it's been in your lifetime. Now, now let's go back to then. Under Barack Obama, CNN specifically aired pretty sympathetic portrayals of ICE.
Well, yeah, because the thing is, Barack Obama and Joe Biden were much better at the mass deportations. Because they understood, they actually understood kind of the thing that Steven Crowder is getting at. That it's easier for a lot of people, especially just liberals, but everyone, to be okay with mass deportations as long as they do not actually get to see what that means. And so they were very careful to keep it quiet. And so they ruined millions of lives, deported millions of people. But they were able to do it successfully because they did not interfere with the great liberal rebrunching.
Under the cloak of darkness in Chicago,
Attack one, guys.
an immigration...
You see, exactly, they're using the cloak of darkness. They're hiding. 50% of shootings in Minneapolis this year so far. I haven't heard that, but I mean, it wouldn't shock me.
Customs enforcement team gears up for another long day,
Copy.
pursuing undocumented immigrants who have been convicted of crimes.
Yeah, they're doing this under cover of darkness. You see, the reason they're doing this under cover of darkness and being so secretive about it is because they actually wanted to do ethnic cleansing effectively, and Trump just wants to hear his own voice.
In the U.S., endless man hours wasted trying to find people they could have picked up at the local jail.
What?
were it not for a Cook County law prohibiting local police and jail officials from even notifying ICE before releasing an undocumented criminal back.
I mean, good, actually. That's wonderful. I'm glad that they have that law, and I hope that they followed it.
Back onto the
Yeah, that's right, Steven Crowder. I mean, you like it when people follow the law, right?
streets. As the sun rises on Chicago, the risk for the team ramps up.
The whole tempo of everything gets us.
Yeah, the risk for the team ramps up. I mean, if you look at ICE's own statistics, the leading cause of death for ICE is COVID, and that's 15 people. The rest of it is, okay, some car accidents. One got shot in Mexico, and a bunch of them just accidentally blew their own heads off.
Man, can you open the doors to police?
There's a lot of risks when
So they tell them to lie.
Do this out in the street like this. You always risk to ourselves, the officers, risk to the innocent bystanders.
See, they're doing it quietly, and so nobody notices. And they don't have warning. Trump gave people warning because he likes to hear the sound of his own fucking voice. I mean, it's actually, I'm glad that he pulled up that footage because this is a point I've been trying to make. They were doing the same basic thing, but they managed to do it in a way where liberals would not actually feel called away from brunch by it by being very quiet about it. Yeah, the mass shooters who happen to almost exclusively be people who are in his target audience of right-wing fascist shitheads.
And let me prove to you that the remarkable inconsistency takes place on one side. Barack Obama was president for 8 years. Joe Biden was former vice president for 4. Find me one piece where any conservatives...
Well, no, I mean, he was president for 4. Oh, I see what he's doing. He's an election denier. Neat.
After ICE.
I mean, if we're gonna play that game, then how about George W. Bush? He lost 2 elections.
Ever. Find me one.
One what?
Ever piece where any conservatives went after ICE.
Yeah, because the thing is, your guy is really bad at this. Your guy is just really, he absolutely sucks ass at this because he makes it very visible and gives everybody warning. And I'm glad that he makes it visible, and I'm glad that he gives everybody warning, because people should actually get a nice, clear look at exactly what this looks like. Because it turns out, like, decent people, when they actually see what this is, they hate it, and they don't want it. And, I mean, that's, I don't want it, and I want it to go away, and having as many people on side as possible does not hurt in that regard. But all he's just showing is that, the guys that he doesn't like, or pretends not to like, are better at this than his guy.
Ever. Find me one. Even Fetterman. The guy who had a stroke.
What do you mean, even? I mean, he's been a racist right-wing piece of shit for his entire career.
Weighed in on this and said, "Are you out of your tree, sir?" Here's Fetterman.
Wait, even these fuckers think Fetterman's a ghoul?
Sorry, easy mistake to make clip. Here's the real clip.
Now, this is from the Washington Post.
I mean, like, if your guy, if the guy you go to as proof that this is all okay, is the guy who's been, like, fucking on camera, like, practically coming in his pants over, like, IDF TikTok videos, then that kind of says it all, actually. Even Fetterman, like...
Now, this is the latest statistics. These are people that ICE now are... no, it's like, no. 67% have criminal charges pending one.
Yeah, okay, criminal charges pending doesn't mean shit, though. Because there's something called a presumption of innocence. Just because you have a charge pending, that doesn't mean you did anything. That doesn't mean you're going to get convicted. So we're going to just lock somebody up because they've been accused of some shit? Yeah, but I mean, this guy is, again, a fucking genocide fetishist. So why wouldn't he think that was cool?
Or that. So that's more than 2/3. The people now. Now there are some
Like an Uncle Fester looking motherfucker.
people that aren't involved in any kinds of illegal things.
Oh, like, again, pending charges doesn't mean somebody was involved in any kind of illegal things. It means they've been accused of being involved in some illegal shit.
But so me, I think two things can be true. Round up all the criminals, deport them. They shouldn't have ever been here, and they definitely have to go. And
why? I mean, Fetterman actually, if we're gonna be like serious about the definition of criminal, I mean, Fetterman is certainly one of the worst criminals in this country. Because genocide is one of the worst crimes, the worst crime for which we have a name other than aggression. And actually, as far as I know, he also supports aggression. So, yeah, I mean, so I guess we should be deporting Fetterman by his logic.
I don't want to see more and more things happening in Minneapolis now, too. So two things must be true. And I strongly reject the extreme on either side.
The extreme on either side where it's like, don't carry out ethnic cleansing versus let's have lots of ethnic cleansing. I mean, and how does he get to even be presented as being against the extremes on both sides when he's literally just a big supporter of exterminating the Palestinians? He's a Nazi.
About this.
Yeah, were you about to say something?
I thought Fetterman was about to say point number two.
Point number two.
I never got to it.
But I will give him.
Yeah, no, of course he wasn't, because he's as big a piece of shit as Crowder. Actually, a bigger piece of shit than Crowder, because Crowder talks about this shit and does propaganda for this shit. Fetterman has actually done this shit.
I'll give him some grace. Because it's actually neurological. It's not.
It is.
I hope he runs in 2028.
His head just can't find his way there.
Here's the thing, though. When people say extremes, okay. Right now, I'll paint this really simply for you.
Oh, okay, he's gonna paint it simply. I mean, finally, he's gonna do a Bob Ross.
Extremes.
I much prefer a Bob Ross to a Jonathan Ross. That is my preferred Ross.
Okay. The left extreme, we've seen them burn down cities.
Yeah, just randomly, or possibly in response to something.
We've seen them assault federal officers.
I mean, based.
We've seen them loot, steal.
Based.
They don't believe that anyone should be deported.
Damn right.
We've seen leftist policies.
No, we haven't. Not in the U.S.
Basically bar you from deporting violent felons who are in our prison systems right now.
Yeah, why shouldn't we? Why should we? I mean, most people who have been convicted of violent crimes are U.S. citizens. We don't kick them out, and somehow that seems to, and we don't seem to feel the lack of the option of like banishing U.S. citizens who've done violent crime. Speaking of violent crime, I mean, again, yeah. Let's just remember what his wife says about him.
Illegal aliens in American prisons who the left protects from being deported. That's the...
well, how do we protect them from being deported from the prisons? I mean, just asking, just as a practical matter, I'm all for it. I'm all for protecting them from being deported from the prisons. But I don't see how we gain access, actually.
Extreme, and by the way, that's the mainstream platform. Okay. The right's extreme, when we say two extremes.
The right's extreme. So let's hear what he says is the right's extreme.
Here's an app, self-deport. Here's a ticket. Here's some cash.
You're saying that's the right's extreme. Right. You sure that that's the extreme on the right? I mean, it seems like maybe there are a few levels of intensity up from that.
Otherwise, we're going to do it for you. Which one's more radical?
Who gives a shit? I mean, radical does not mean bad. I agree that just getting rid of this bullshit that we call immigration law is somewhat radical compared to other options. but that's also good because the root and branch of this thing is disgusting and should not exist. We should not be doing ethnic cleansing.
Comment below. And I ask you, if you think that's still a gray area, how do you enforce federal law when Democrat politicians are actively working against them? Illinois.
But they aren't actively working against them. They're talking. I mean, and he's just gone, I mean, he avoided saying it, but he's pointed out, he's reminded everyone of how Obama and Biden, on the whole, actually deported way more people than Trump ever managed.
Oregon, California, Minnesota, obviously. Let me ask you
I
this.
mean, not obviously. The Minnesota, the state police, and the Minneapolis police are both helping ICE. And
If
Bortak.
the law of the land, it's not a state issue, but a federal issue, is murder is illegal. Okay?
Actually, murder is illegal as a state issue. There is... that is literally a quintessential example of state criminal law. There is no general federal murder statute. Because there is no general federal police power. Like, this is just so fucking, this is completely backwards. Like, there are homicide statutes in Title 18 of the U.S. Code. But they all say something like, in or affecting commerce, or against a federal agent in the exercise of their duties, or on federally administered territory or federally administered land. Because homicide, the federal government does not have the power to ban murder. That is a police power. That is a quintessentially state thing.
And Minneapolis says, no. We're not going to jail murderers. I'm using an extreme example.
I mean, wait. He's complaining about the fact that Jonathan Ross hasn't been arrested? I mean, because it's true, Minneapolis and the state of Minnesota have said they're not going to arrest him, despite the fact that they've got plenty of evidence.
Thought exercise to make a point. Murder is illegal federally. Do we all agree?
No, I mean, no, it isn't illegal federally. Not in and of itself. There literally is no federal murder statute. That is just a murder statute.
The premise, that is not a state issue.
It is, like... Oh... This is so fucking basic. Like, this guy... Like, this is just... I mean, it's... Wow.
There's a reason for federal law. And Minnesota, Minneapolis, Twin Cities says, no, we're going to allow murder. And we're not going to allow...
I mean, and this is the example he comes up with after this past week.
Anyone to come in and say that these murderers can't be out in the streets. Now do theft. Do arson.
I mean, again, with... this is all state law. There is no general theft statute, no general federal theft statute. There is no general federal arson statute. That is state criminal law.
Do any other violent crime. Which
again, any other, we're like totally within the area of state law here.
The way is exactly who these federal officers are seeking out. But of course they have to deport any illegal they come in contact with.
Like, why though? They could just not.
The good news is this could be done far more efficiently. It could be done far more easily. Listen to Tom Homan.
Speaking of Obama, indeed, radical from the Latin radix, meaning root, i.e. getting to the root of a problem. Yep.
Explain this and what these governments can do if you want to avoid the two extremes. Just work with us to get rid of at least the people we can all agree upon.
But we can't all agree upon. That's the point. Like, just because you and your fucking Nazi suckhole mates agree upon it doesn't mean we give a shit.
Should be gone, right?
I mean,
President Trump made his promise to American people: we're going to find these criminals and make this America safe again. So if they don't let us in jail,
motherfucker, how much has this guy had?
We're going to go in the community. And the difference is, in places
like, God, he sounds shit-faced.
It's not a sanctuary. one agent can walk into a jail and arrest one criminal illegal alien. But when you release them in the community, now we got to assign the whole team because we got to arrest somebody on their turf.
Well, you'd save a lot of money by not doing it.
They have access, who knows what weapons. It makes it dangerous for the officer, makes it dangerous for the aliens.
I mean, no, what makes it dangerous for the people being targeted by these people is that they're being targeted by them.
Certainly makes it dangerous for the community. So if Minneapolis wants to help, like I saw Mayor Fried doing an interview this morning, let us in your damn jail. What's the downside?
Yeah, but the thing is, Minnesota, there is no law that there's nothing under Minnesota law that says that you can be arrested on state charges for being allegedly in breach of federal immigration laws. And nor should there be.
Of letting a federal law enforcement officer with the immigration authority talk to an illegal alien that you already locked up and put in a jail cell.
And no, fuck it.
It's ridiculous that they're pushing back on that.
And I've been saying this for close to a decade now. And I remember the moment that I found out, wait a second.
I'm surprised that his wife stayed with him this long.
We have illegal aliens in our prisons?
Well, yeah, because that's kind of how criminal law works. You get convicted of something, you get sentenced for it, and then you do the sentence. I mean, is this new to you? What did you think happened when...
I remember going, wait a second.
I mean, I'm not saying I think the system is good. I'm saying this is just kind of a very basic thing about how the system works.
And not only do we have illegal aliens in our prison, it's not just like an oversight. Democrat politicians are ensuring that they remain in our prisons?
What, you're saying you would like to release them? Yeah, well, is this your prison abolitionist arc all of a sudden? Yeah, so there was plenty of time, in other words, to just fucking pick him up, since there was more than enough evidence that he had committed murder too.
Yeah, I thought that was a conspiracy.
Yeah. I was under the impression...
Well, so what you're saying is that you didn't know very basic things about how anything works, and that therefore we should listen to your opinions.
Before that if someone committed a crime and went through the process, right, of being charged, going through a trial, being convicted, I thought, if at any point they find out that you actually are an illegal alien, you'd be deported. You know, how all societies have done it since ever.
No, but all societies have not done that since ever. This society in particular didn't even have immigration law until the late 19th century, when they decided to be really racist against Chinese people. Immigration law is a very new thing, actually.
And then I found out
that immigration law is a very new thing, and actually we haven't always been doing this.
So we actually not only don't deport them, we feed them, we house them.
Well, yes, they're in prison, otherwise you would be starving them to death.
And then you have politicians protecting them.
I mean, I wouldn't really call being incarcerated protection, but okay.
Never been about anchor babies.
Well, yeah, because that was bullshit to begin with. That was always bullshit. And let me just reiterate, I mean, I haven't heard that term in a very long time. Now. But for anyone who's confused on why what he just said is bullshit, just because you are, U.S. citizen children have been deported with their families all along. That is just a thing that happens. Having a U.S. citizen child does not save you from deportation. It happens all the time, and it has all along happened that people who do not have legal status, who have U.S. citizen children, just get kicked out of the country, and the idea is that the U.S. citizen children can eventually come back when they're of age. If they want to. That's why this anchor baby shit is just a bunch of shit.
It's never been about dreamers.
Oh, yeah, I mean, with no evidence tags or anything, too.
People will say reductive. Yeah. Let's be reductive. I call it sort of finding the choke point. All right. Where's the choke point here? Where are we not? We're not able to get past. What is it? Is it parents who have a kid and we feel bad for? No, okay, it's not that. But
I mean, we should. Like, why are we doing that to them?
We think that all illegal aliens should be deported, but we're
I mean, okay, that's one of the reasons you suck.
Willing to maybe compromise and say certainly violent criminals first. The left, mainstream left, thinks.
What is the okay?
You can't deport illegal aliens who are also violent criminals.
I mean, like, when he says the mainstream left, he means the Democrats, and who are not left. They are certainly mainstream, but, like, they agree with all of this. The only thing that they don't like about any of this is how showy it is, because by being so fucking showy about it, it's not effective. If Trump was doing this in the dead of night and just kind of grabbing people in the middle of the night like Obama and Biden did, they'd be cool.
And are currently taking up space in our prison system.
I mean,
see why tribalism?
Like, it's like the 2-button meme. Does he think that people who are convicted of crimes should be in jail? Or does he think that they should be just deported, in which case they just get released? I mean, I'm not a fan of the prison system, not a supporter, abolitionist here. But, I mean, it just seems like from his perspective, like, when you deport somebody out of prison, they're free, actually, at that point to go. I mean, of course, you've sent them off to some place where they probably have absolutely nobody, where they have no, like, real connections because they've been living elsewhere for years. Maybe don't even remember the place. And actually, that fucking sucks, but, you know, they're out of prison. Which is, I mean, I think a lot of people would consider that still an improvement. But I'm surprised to hear him saying that he feels that's an improvement, because usually these people are big fans of incarceration.
It's important. You can't link arms.
The trick with the phrase internal bleeding, yeah, I'm not surprised that there's no record of him at any hospital. But the reason cops love to claim internal bleeding is that is technically a medically accurate description of a bruise. Because a bruise is when capillaries break under the skin and they bleed and it causes discoloration and pain. That is internal bleeding. I mean, if they really wanted to, like, fucking, you know, lay it on thick, they could even call it a hematoma, which that is.
With those people.
What the heck is that? These are scripts I wrote today for you to approve.
What, they actually write this shit?
Those are all scripts? Yeah, well, I mean, technically some of them are songs, but I got a lot of really cool stuff in here.
God, I do not want to hear this man's songs.
Got some ABBA parodies in here. I know you love ABBA, big ABBA guy. Everyone always talks about you love ABBA.
And you wrote them all today?
That's what I said!
How in the world were you...
Like, what the fuck is this?
able to write all of those in...
Fast, Gerald! Real fast!
Josh?
Yeah, real internal bleeding is going to require surgical exploration. Like, I mean, and especially they said in his torso, which is also a fucking bullshit wiggle word, because that could be his chest, that could be his abdomen. If it's his chest, we're talking about a hemothorax. A hemothorax necessitates, at the very least, the chest drain. A chest first, a pleurocentesis to evacuate the chest cavity and to drain it. If it's abdominal, then that requires that often will require surgery, or at the very least, non-invasive exploration. And either way, those are like major conditions, and he didn't have either of those things. I mean, I don't even buy that he had a fucking bruise. Like, what did he bruise himself on? I mean, I've seen the footage. I've seen it from multiple angles, including his. Nothing hit him. It's too bad nothing did. It's too bad there wasn't, like, a semi that just ran him over in that moment.
How many cups of blackout coffee have you had today?
How many cups of...
Oh, this is okay, so this is their white supremacist coffee grift. Okay. Haven't got a whole lot of time, but I thought we would... Oh, you gotta be kidding me. My mouse, which lost me a chess game that I almost had a draw in if I hadn't timed out because of it. Now it has decided to run out of battery in the last few minutes of the stream.
I start the laundry. I then go do groceries. I then come home and I make dinner. I then do bath time and movie time with the kids.
Okay, this is Crowder talking about why people get divorced. Why there's what he calls a divorce problem.
Do you want to know what my husband did? Laid in bed.
Oh, so, okay, he says that this woman is why we have a divorce problem. Because there are women out there who think that their husbands ought to actually contribute to the households they live in.
Full time. Guess who took today off and was also laying in bed this morning when I was doing the morning routine all by myself? My husband.
This is going to get worse.
She's the reason anyone gets divorced, too.
You're not going to have a country anymore until men and women hash it out, and there's one side that...
Well, I mean, okay, she seemed to be hashing it out there. I mean, like your ex-wife hashed it out. I mean, she's hashing it out in divorce court, and then you said you wanted to ban that.
Breaking all the rules that were foundational to relationships for a very, very long time.
He's going to talk about the rules that are foundational to relationships.
These next people are wrong. This is a trend that I've noticed, and I will tell you, this is probably more important than anything politically going on in the country. If you no longer have the family unit, if you no longer have male and female roles.
I mean, who can afford that?
In society, with a primary focus being on the rearing of children.
That is such a weird fucking term. Especially coming from this guy.
You will cease to have a society. That's what, when Founding Fathers talked about this freedom being meant for a moral people.
What they meant was rich white people, yes, we know.
This is the bedrock of that. That's why we have self-governance.
Well, I mean, they literally meant that the only people who got self-governance were the rich white dudes. Yeah, and the way they spun it was that he supposedly got run over and dragged, and then it turns out what actually happened is he tried to carjack a guy and the guy dipped.
So, till death do us part. Or until better engagement on TikTok or a few extra likes. So this is the trend that's been going on.
Well, so the thing he's complaining about is women having standards. That is ultimately what a lot of these guys complain about when they decide that the fact that nobody wants to fuck them is proof that there's something wrong with society.
Is women publicly crapping on their husbands on social media. Take it.
Yeah, this is no conflict of interest. This has nothing to do with his life. This is not personal to him. He is not getting emotional.
From this prequel episode to tomorrow's Why I'm Divorced.
Well, I mean, we know why you're divorced. You're a piece of shit and your wife got sick of you.
Today's episode of Why I Hate My Husband. This weekend we went to London for a hockey tournament. So much fun, exhausting. The kids had a great time. We get home yesterday. I immediately start unpacking the bags. I sort the laundry. I start the laundry.
And even if he did get dragged, he was trying to carjack somebody. Fuck him. I mean, you put people in fear for their lives, they're gonna dip. They're gonna do one of various things in order to ensure that they stay alive, and one of those things might be that they hit the fucking gas.
I then go do groceries. I then come home and I make dinner. I then do bath time and movie time with the kids. Do you want to know what my husband did? Laid in bed. The whole time. Guess who took today off and was also laying in bed this morning when I was doing the morning routine?
That is wrong, but let me ask you this. What do you do after your morning routine?
I mean, I guess your afternoon routine, whatever that is. And then your evening routine. I mean, next question.
And when you said he took the day off, do you mean from his job?
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like you took the day off from kind of everything, actually. But I just noticed the time, and it is, speaking of taking things off, it is time for me to take off. Time to wrap up. Thank you to everyone who joined in. Sorry about the technical difficulties earlier. Glad that it managed to work long enough to finish this stream without any further interruptions. If you enjoy the stream, please consider supporting the stream with a contribution at the link I'm about to give you, if my keyboard will let me. Contributions are always much appreciated, and they help me keep going. Yeah, so I will be back on Friday at 11:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, and I look forward to seeing you there. Also, let me just drop the Discord link into chat for anyone who isn't already in there.